Hey everyone, it's Amar here. I'm a professional Toon Boom Harmony rigger. So I've been getting a lot of questions about how I rig those two portals in Harmony. So in this tutorial, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. So yeah, let's just jump right in. To keep it simple, we are just gonna use a sphere instead of a whole rig. First, we need to set up our portals. Let's start with the first one. Go ahead and create a new drawing layer and name it portal 01. Let's make the portal green, or yeah, you can give it any color that you want. We'll start by drawing the outline on the line art layer. Now let's pick a green color for the fill. We'll do that on the color art layer. You can technically keep everything on one layer, but it's a really good exercise to get used to separating them. It will give you more control later on, like on compositing or effects. Now let's separate the line art and the color art. This will help us later in the process. In the node view, press enter and search for the line art node. Connect it to the drawing layer. Then do the same thing for the color art node. After that, we'll create a new composite node and connect both the line art and the color art nodes to it. Okay, so now we'll make the second portal node view. Select all the nodes we just created by dragging over them. Press Ctrl C to copy them. Right click in the node view and choose paste special. A new window will pop up. Check the always create drawing files box, and in the palette section choose link to original color palettes, and yeah, make sure the create new columns is checked too. Press OK. So this will give us a copy of the portal 1. Just move the portal 2 to somewhere else in the scene. So now select both drawings by dragging over them. Press Ctrl Shift P to give each one its own peg. Use the pivot tool to adjust the pivots. After that, we'll organize things a little bit. Create a backdrop and name it portals, and just give it a color. And to keep the node view even more clean, we can make a new composite just for the portals and connect them to it. Now we'll make this sphere that goes into this portal and comes out the other one. So let's create a new drawing layer, name it sphere. Select a color for the sphere. Now select the sphere layer and press Ctrl P to add a peg. Adjust the pivot point of the peg to the center of the sphere. The key to making this work is the apply transformation node. It will help us to create an illusion that the sphere is teleporting. Basically, the node creates a duplicate of the drawing layer that is connected to, which is how we make the teleport effect. Now let's connect the sphere drawing to the apply peg transformation node and then connect that to the main composite. Next, create a new peg by pressing Ctrl P and connect it to this socket right here. When you move this new peg, you'll see a duplicate appears. So it's the exact same sphere, but it's a duplicate now. And if we move this somewhere else, and then if you go back and select the main sphere peg again and move it, the duplicate move exactly like it. It just moves along with it. Let's name this peg sphere offset. And don't forget to copy the main peg's pivot translation to the offset peg. So let's organize the nodes now, create a new composite and connect both the main sphere and the duplicate to it. Give the composite a name, something like sphere comp. Then create a backdrop around these nodes and label its spheres to keep everything tidy. Select the sphere offset peg and move the duplicate sphere. Try to keep it about the same distance from the second portal as the original sphere is from the first one. Now when we move the main sphere, both versions cross the portals at roughly the same time, which kind of sells the teleportation effect. To really sell the illusion, we'll mask the first sphere so it looks like it's entering this portal, and mask the duplicate so it looks like it's coming out of the other one. Select the portal 01 drawing layer and go to the drawing view. We'll make a mask on the underlay layer. Click the eye icon to make all the layers visible. Now let's pick a bright ugly green color for the mask. Draw the mask so it kind of covers half of the portal. And don't worry about it, I'll explain to you guys why we're doing it this way. Right now we don't see the mask in the scene. So press enter and search for the underlay node. Connect the portal 1 drawing to the underlay node. So if I connect this node directly to the composite, you can see the mask, but we don't want the mask to be visible. So disconnect that for now. Search the cutter node and place it between the sphere and the composite. Then connect the mask to this input right here. This will mask the sphere so it looks like it's entering the portal. So now if I move the sphere, it looks like it's entering the portal, and this is exactly what we wanted. Don't worry about the sharp edge right here or the solid line that you see right now. We'll soften that later to make it look like it's more natural. Now we'll follow the same exact steps for the second sphere and the portal, but this time make the mask on the opposite side to cover the second sphere. Add a cutter node just below the apply transformation node and use the underlay layer of the second portal as the mask. Now the duplicate sphere is hidden behind the portal in the scene. So when I move the main sphere, the first mask hides it as it enters the first portal, and the duplicate exits the other second portal, just like teleportation. Now let's add a color card to the scene and give it a darker color. This will have the glow that we're gonna add to the portals later. Let's get rid of the solid edge of the masks so the transition looks more smoother. Search for the gradient node in the node view, and now if you connect it directly to the composite, you'll see the gradient appear in the scene. Select the gradient node and press the button here. It adds a controller right in the scene. You can use these controllers to edit the gradient. Okay, so now let's move the mask above the gradient so we can actually see it. Now adjust the controllers so the gradient transition is around the edge of the mask. Next, add a cutter node and connect the underlay layer to it. We'll use the gradient node to soften up the edge of the mask. To do that, add a grayscale node and in its properties, check the matte output box. Now connect the gradient node to the grayscale node and connect the grayscale to the cutter. And if you go to the render view, you can check out if the edge is smooth or not. And in case if it looks like this, you can just double click the icon, and now you can go back to the gradient tool and adjust it for a soft transition. Now disconnect the gradient setup from the composite and connect it to the cutter node of the first sphere. If you look in the scene view, the edge is still there, but if you switch to the render view, you'll see the edge is gone and now it's a really smooth transition. Now we'll follow the same process for the second mask and soften the edge. You can use this button to hide the gradient controller when you are done adjusting. Now when we move the sphere in the render view, it looks like a seamless transition through the portal. So yeah, this is how we create portals in Toon Boom Harmony. Next we can move on to some compositing to add a cool glowing effect to the portals. Okay, so first we'll turn our composite into bitmap mode. This flattens all the layers into one. Next add a glow node. And you can just copy this composite and put it right here to make things easier. If you want to have a great deep dive into the glow effect, I recommend you guys to check out ZBirdBrain's YouTube channel. So after this, connect these two nodes like this. In the properties, check out this box. It just looks better. And you can adjust the radius to soften the glow edges. Just play around with it and see whatever works best for your scene. Finally, add a blending node and connect it like this. In its properties, experiment with the blending modes and find whatever works best for your effect. And also I use one more transparency node just below the blending node because I didn't like how it looked, but it's optional, so like you don't have to do it. So you can select all these nodes and press Ctrl G to group them. That way you can reuse the effect easily. You can just apply the effect right here instead. This way you don't need two separate groups, and yeah, that's it. Your portals are done and you are ready to go. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how you can use this exact same method with rigs too. So I've got a rig setup right here, but you can see, like, you can clearly see the node setup is exactly as similar, like exactly same as this view, and the curtain nodes are connected to the same masks. So, and yeah, in the render view, it works perfectly. Now, if you're using rigs and you might run into this issue, things won't display correctly unless you add a bitmap composite right here. Once you do that, anything works as expected. If I disable the mask, you'll see both rigs in the scene, and the second one is the offset. But the great thing is that if you edit the first rig, the second one automatically follows it, so it's super flexible. So yeah, this was my first ever tutorial, and thanks a lot for watching. I'm sorry if I made any mistakes along the way, and yeah, if you run into any problems, just feel free to drop a comment. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. And I have also added my Instagram and my LinkedIn in the description, so feel free to connect and like message me there too. Okay, so all right, that's it for now, and thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, take care and happy rigging.